This is 75-year-old woman Anita Grayson walking into a Tim Hortons store. What happens next will result in her death. She heads over to this counter without really stopping to order, so we can assume she's already placed an order and is here to pick it up. We can speculate that her order wasn't ready, and perhaps that's why she gets so mad to begin with. The tape provided by police zooms in, and we no longer have a time code, so from here, when she starts arguing, we don't know how much time has passed. Regardless, Anita is now pissed. There's no sound, but we can clearly see this person stepping in to tell Anita she needs to leave. And the hand gesture you just saw seems to indicate the employee is telling Anita she needs to bring it down. The employee wants peace here. Now here's where we try to figure out who touched who first, because that's important. They're all too close to each other, but this move by Anita right here seems to be the first anyone has touched anyone else. And what does that do? It opens the door for touching in defense, which the employee does here. Anita then escalates again by pushing this employee, who obviously doesn't take well to that. The employee still doesn't touch Anita, but gets in her face. Anita responds by punching the employee. Now, can we guess what kind of reaction that might elicit? That's right, now the employee has been fully thrust into it and fights back. The other employees eventually separate the two. We see here, as circled by the police, that Anita has ripped out chunks of the employee's hair. From here, Anita sits at a table, calls 911, has a heart attack, and later dies. The reactions seen in the media are largely in support of Anita.
No human being should go to get coffee and die on a floor.
So let's Woo! Okay. Let's hold that there for a second. Shout out to Anita and her family. You know, shout out to the employees. This is just a tragic situation all around. And you know, I've been seeing some of the scuttle online, and people are saying, "Oh, you know, she old and she shouldn't be treated like that, and it's a racial issue." Some people said that you shouldn't ever have to lay hands on your elders. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm disappointed in the whole situation. People want the employees. They want criminal charges drawn on the employees. They want to close down a restaurant. People have said they want the restaurant closed. They want the people involved in jail. This woman died. Her family, understandably, is upset, right? But what's starting to bother me, and I'm trying not to say pissed off, but what's starting to really irritate me, I want you to look at your own grandmother or mother for a second, right? And look at how you were taught. What could possibly happen that would make you so angry, or your mother or your grandmother so angry, that they would, in a coffee and bakery shop, that they would have to go in, express their disappointment and their frustration by, again, we couldn't hear it, but we know body language, right? Putting the hands in the faces and doing all this and that. Could you see your mother doing that? Your auntie? Your grandmother? Right? Some of you could. I'm guessing some of you could. But for the most part, I'm going to keep it a buck. The kind of time I'm on is, you just don't do that. You don't do it. And it has nothing to do with races or anger, frustration. There is a way you handle things, and there's a way you don't. I'm not necessarily doing victim blaming. I'm just saying, look at what we're seeing more on social media and society, right? The way I was raised, and I think this transcends race. If you have a problem, you express it, and then at that point, you've done all you can do on the local level, and you take it to corporate and you file a complaint. It's coffee and donuts. What usually happens is, if you're a little bit persistent, it's a little inconvenience on your side, you might get a corporate refund, but most of the time, they'll go a little bit above and they'll say, okay, sorry for the inconvenience. We'll give you, coffee and donut for a month or 6 months or whatever on us, right? Maybe they get a little haughty. Maybe they say, nah, you could take it to the press, throw some shade on that company, and some people might boycott and take away some business. And to that effect, usually, again, they will go, our bad, this is a bad look, shouldn't have gone down this way, misunderstanding, some free coffee and some donuts for a month. I can't think of any situation that justifies the levels of anger that we're seeing these days from people taking it out on just regular employees doing their job. Now, for sure, some of these employees, man, some of them may be trifling. Some of them might be bad at their job, bad customer service, whatever. Right? I get it, right? The kids most of the time. But again, I'm just keeping it 100. If I go into any establishment, especially a fast food establishment or a coffee shop like this, and I have a problem with my order, I can voice my complaint. This ain't right. This is cold, whatever. There's only so much that this 16, 19, 20-year-old person is going to do. They care, but they don't. They're there for a check. This is not their life's mission. It's not that serious. It is an inconvenience on both of you. Maybe it escalates to the manager. Same thing. This might be the manager's main gig. They might take it in their hands. But at no point do people typically react favorably when people get wild or get angry or really just get extra. You know what I'm saying? So when I see stuff like this, at one time I used to think, oh man, this is the domain of these kids, man. Kids act like this. But adults know better. We got wisdom, we got understanding. But this is a 75-year-old black woman who went to this place, got wound up, caused a ruckus. I'm sorry to say, that's what the video shows. We can run it back. Run it back. I'm not lying. 142, let's run it back.
Tape provided by police zooms in and we no longer have a time code. So from here, when she starts arguing, we don't know.
What? At what point? You gave me the wrong donut. No, this is the worst one. You overcharged me, right? I paid for something that was $5.99 and you charged me $10.99. I want my money back, right? There was a mistake made, okay? The employee said, and I'm just hypothetical. I'm just trying to give you a worst case scenario. The employee says, that's what you ordered. So they're saying you're lying or you're mistaken. All right, now it's an offensive thing, right? Bet. At no point, though, I'm not connecting this. I'm not going, give me my money back. You overcharged me. You not hearing me. What is that? That's never going to give you the results you want. Never. This woman should know better. I'm already hearing in the comments about how I'm psychic. I can predict the comments. People are mad. People are fed up. This woman, you don't know what kind of day this woman had. Maybe she needed that coffee. For sure. Maybe it was her last $5. Maybe she shouldn't be ordering expensive coffee. Whatever, I'm just hypothetically. I'm trying to play advocate on both sides for a second and see what kind of situation would justify a level of escalation where you have the people in this video, whether they're old or young, doing like what you see here over some coffee. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Is that what's happening now? Is that what we're doing? Are we really punching out the Taco Bell employees and throwing the fries back at the counter to McDonald's employees because we're mad because of our orders now? Is that really what's happening now? That's acceptable? What's that fool's name? That guy that shot the rich CEO, Luigi? Is that what kind of time we on? Because Luigi speak for the people. You know, the evil corporate CEO screwed him over, so he's going to get them back. And he's going to pew them. That's what we talking about? Now, I know that's an extreme, right, of what this example is talking about. But, I mean, it's the same ballpark. People, there is another way to do battle. There is another way to fight, but this ain't it. This is not it. But whatever, y'all. I mean, what y'all think? Am I crazy? What do you think? She old. She's no better. Let me come on. Look at this. Let's see what happens.
But we can clearly see this person stepping in to tell Anita
her hand is all up in her face, all up. Forget the commentary. Maybe this commentary is adding its own color. So forget all that for a second. Look at what you see. I love when people say we need to know what happened before. No, we don't. What do we need to know? Let's say, let's do that. Let's say this woman was in the drive-thru and the other woman cursed her out. So she's so mad, she came into the store. Let's make it the worst case scenario, right? Which probably didn't happen, but I'm trying to justify some kind of justification for why she would come up in the store like this. So let's go.
To leave. And the hand gesture you just saw seems to indicate the employee is telling Anita she needs to bring it down. The employee wants peace here. Now here's where we try to figure out who touched who first, because that's important. They're all...
I mean, it doesn't even matter who touched who at this point. That's not the issue. That's an issue about personal space and legalities. That's not the purpose of the conversation here. Why I'm bringing it here? I'm bringing it here because I'm saying as a society, we've gotten to the point where we've normalized impulsive outbursts and childish behavior. We've normalized a lack of self-control. Even these reaction videos that you find on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram that aren't even thought out, that don't have a perspective, they're just there to make a hot take angrily, without thinking through, without doing any kind of research. That's the normalization of what we're starting to see in society, and that's frustrating. That's very frustrating, because when reasonable adults start acting out with no accountability, this is what happens. Let's see, this chick had a heart attack. She fell out and had a heart attack. It got so wild for her. It got so wild for her, she fell out and died. Go talk. It's crazy.
Doesn't touch Anita, but gets in her face. Anita responds by punching the employee. Now, can we guess what kind of reaction?
Yo, shout out to the family. Condolences. No disrespect. No disrespect. I know this is a tough time for the family. Again, if this was my mother or grandmother or auntie, regardless of who's at fault, I would feel some kind of way. So this is way too close. This is close, but she punched the employee.
That might elicit? That's right. Now the employee has been fully thrust into it and fights back. So
now, again, I guess this is the part where the young person is supposed to be the bigger person. Just like, I'm not saying a man should hit a woman ever, under any circumstances, but when a woman slaps a man or punches him in the face, the guy's supposed to go, "Are you done yet?" What are we talking about? Now, I'm not going to hit a woman, but my point is the accountability falls on the man, not the woman. When these teachers are getting punched by students, where they're supposed to get punched and thrown, the teachers are supposed to have the level of self-control, because, again, for some reason, we have a society where people act like we're still back in the day when people had a level of sense and decorum. The teachers are supposed to go, "That's enough, Billy. Go to the principal's office." What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Anyway.
The other employees eventually separate the two. We see here as
So the young girl wilded out back because she got hit. Doesn't matter if it hurt or not. We're talking egos. We're talking about escalation. We're talking about adrenaline. She probably didn't even think she hit or hurt or pushed the lady hard enough to do real damage, but the lady's 75 years old. So already being riled up, blood pressure's already high, mad because of the coffee and donuts, mad because this woman's reacting back to her. It's all escalated. She had a heart attack. Fell on the floor, probably hasn't had that much. Fell on the floor.
Told by the police that Anita has ripped out chunks of the employee's hair. From
the mom, the old lady ripped out. This old lady was scrapping. Let's just dead all that. This old lady was scrapping. She is not the one to play with. She's not the one, apparently. Right? So there it is. You see it in the video. You see it. There's hair on the floor. There's hair on the floor. Over coffee. Coffee and donuts. That's what we're talking about. So you heard my take on all this, right? This is my perspective, right? So let's watch the rest of the video, but I want to see the other justice for Anita side. I want to understand this.
From here, Anita sits at a table, calls 911, has a heart attack, and later dies. The reactions seen in the media are largely in support of Anita.
Let's hear
No
this.
human being should go to get coffee and die on a floor from a heart attack.
The place needs to be.
Whose fault is that? So it's the employee's fault that Anita died on the floor and had a heart attack. That's the employee's fault. Here's a better question. What was the employee supposed to do? Because whatever you say the employee was supposed to do, I challenge you to put that same thing on Anita. What was Anita supposed to do? Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Shut down. It's not safe to walk in there, obviously.
I want justice.
It's not safe to walk in there, shut down the place, unless this place has a history of violent confrontations. What are people talking about? What are people talking about?
This is for my mom. Y'all cannot deny it. Everybody done seen what happened to her.
You 17-year-old, you put your hands on my auntie, take your to jail. And that's how I feel.
I sympathize. It could have been my auntie or grandma, right? Could have been my mama. But then, and I'm gonna say something very controversial. You ready for this? It could have been, but it wouldn't have been. You feel what I'm saying? It could have been, but it wouldn't have been. Because anybody in my family would have done anything like that. I'm keeping it a buck. Yeesh.
And I'm done. Cut.
Well, I think we're done too, because this case is open and shut. You want to wreck the lives of some minimum wage kids trying to get by because your auntie can't control herself? If you're 75 years old and you've got heart problems, maybe you shouldn't go around hitting people and getting involved in fights, especially over pastries.
So again, I'm ignoring the commentary, even though I agree with the commentary. I've never seen this channel before. I don't know what DC shorts are, but clearly this commentary or commentator has a perspective. But regardless of that perspective, the tail is in the tape, and I agree with it. There it is. So what do y'all think? What's your thoughts? Please don't make this about race. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Because that's not what this is about. I sympathize. I empathize. I all the thighs. But I don't know. Clear cut to me. Take some accountability, y'all. Control your emotions. And you know, consistently on my channel, I'm always talking about accountability with your life choices, accountability with your emotions, accountability with your finances, accountability all the way down the line. Because only with accountability can you control the outcome. Most of the time.